Hello and welcome to the Taste Test Halloween Extravaganza. I'm Ghoul Connoisseur Mike, and joining me very soon will be Death, Brandon, and Entombed Ivan as they are wrapping up their gameplays. We got a special treat for you as we also have Sheldon Brown from the Graveyard Shift joining us at Taste Test Dead Quarters. So we're doing a movie game night, and while I wait for everyone to show up, I'm going to talk about Nightmare on Elm Street. I fell asleep while playing it, but I got the gist of it. You see, it's got Freddy on the cover. Okay, it's just a shadow where he used to be, but, anyway, it sucked, so I watched some videos. So, let's talk about Beetlejuice, Alien 3, and Ghostbusters. As for Aliens, well, the graphics on this aren't the worst I've seen. The music is pretty good, and what? This is a Nintendo game, not an Oculus Rift. Why am I in a tunnel?
Surprise, you little bitch! You're still asleep, and so are your little friends!
Who said that? Oh my god, is that a xenomorph that survived a house fire?
Your stupid jokes and wordplay can't help you now. You're about to get a tummy ache. Pepto-Bismol ain't gonna help.
My chest!
Man, I'm so glad Mike gave me this Ghostbusters to play. I loved this movie. But man, this game looks lousy with the overhead map. And couldn't that be the Ecto-1 traveling the streets, instead of this wrinkled, old-faced dude? Wait, wasn't that the logo on the map? Did Mike send me one of those stupid mods again?
Mike does send you one thing, his regards, and a cry for help, but you've got your own problems.
What the hell? Anyway, I got flashing buildings to take care of.
Happy driving!
What the hell? I've heard New York traffic is hard, but seriously, ghosts in the street? Fuck this. I got the ghost vacuum. I'm used to inhaling vapors.
Yeah, time for you to get smoked.
What? Did my car just turn into a bong? With me in it?
Alright, cover of Beetlejuice. Yeah, fuck, doesn't look so good. Damn, Michael Keaton didn't age very well. Anyway, let's start this bad boy up.
It's showtime!
Who said that? Oh, this bug. Oh, fuck, I can stomp anything like these buttons. Fuck! I stomped it, it hit me. What the hell is that?
Maybe you should try jumping over it.
Oh, maybe I will. Oh, fuck, I overshot this ridiculously tiny ledge. Fuck!
Guess this wasn't your day-o.
Hey guys, thanks for inviting me over to play old video games all night for the taste test. I brought some coffee and some Red Bull and... What the fuck? Did everyone just play Spin the Chainsaw? Oh man, I should call the police. Was this a nightmare game for NES? Wait, did someone scratch Freddy off the cover of the box?
Gamer needs food badly.
Let's go!
Hey everybody, and welcome to the real taste test this time. I'm your host, game connoisseur Mike King. Joining me is Chef Brandon Boswell.
Yep, I am here.
Say hello, Brandon.
I'm
And
the thing.
intern Ivan. You had your time and you fucking blew it. Intern Ivan, say hi.
Say hi.
And we're not alone in the kitchen this week, this special Halloween week. We have from the Graveyard Shift my friend, my co-host, my partner in crime, Sheldon. I'll learn his name eventually. We've only been knowing each other for 5 months.
Sheldon Brown, guys. Don't worry, Chef's got it.
Yay!
Sheldon Brown. Welcome to the show, Sheldon.
Welcome, Sheldon.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's an honor.
It's
I'm
This is
sure.
our second year doing a taste test, and
Yeah.
we were like, yo, 4 games is fun, but 4 hosts is also fun. Also, I didn't have a third thing to build up on there, so I just left it hanging for the listeners to imagine a third thing. It's up to you guys. The listeners, you are part of our podcast.
Well, I'm just glad to be part of a podcast.
That's
Finally,
right.
be part of a podcast that's conducted in such a professional manner.
You know, Brandon proves that there's 2 types of people. One that
who
can
understand binary
extrapolate from
code,
incomplete
people who
data.
don't.
And you fucking talked over my joke. Ah.
Sell it. I was gonna
So-
wait for you so I could finish the other half of my joke because we are gonna do it at the same time. You're a racist. Finish the joke.
The joke was finished the minute you spoke.
Do it. All right.
I feel like this is what happens when I introduce my competent friend to my less than impressive friend, and I realize, oh wow, I have varying tastes in friends.
Yeah, you do.
Dude, don't be so hard on Ivan.
You hang out with me for specific reasons, Mike. It's very clear. I show you the path not to take. That's exactly what I'm here for.
He's like the opposite of that Nick Cage movie. What was it, like Leaper, Jumper? What was that movie where he could like repeat the last 30 seconds of something?
I
see that.
I think I know.
It
what
was a
you're talking
movie
about.
where like he constantly like he can go back in time like 30 seconds after making a mistake or something.
Hold on, I'll think about it.
Sounds like Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, it was basically Galaxy. It was the climax scene from Galaxy Quest, but without any of the charm,
Right.
wit, satire, or Alan Rickman.
Is
Anyway,
it
why the
numbers?
fuck are we here?
Numbers?
We're here to talk
Is it
about.
numbers? Numbers. That's my guess.
Wasn't that like a lame primetime show about a guy that could do meth?
Yeah, I think it was also a Nick Cage movie. That's why you don't remember the name. Also, maybe it was The Knowing, but The Knowing's
Is
more
somebody
about like
shuffling
a
cards?
natural disaster. The Knowing is also about like a natural disaster or some shit that like Nick Cage can stop. I don't know.
Oh, that might be it. Because he knows the future.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know. I thought that was maybe. Who knows?
It's called
Anyway.
Next.
Start a fire.
Instead of-
Hey!
Because, there's these little devices you can get. They're, narrow, rectangular. You can type in stuff and look things up. And you can even talk to people with it.
Huh.
In the
Man,
movie.
the future's a scary place.
In the movie, right? Like not in the real world.
Well, at least the good thing is that, like, if the sum of human knowledge is at all of our fingertips, that should solve a lot of arguments since everyone can find out the truth from the sources. Mm-hmm. So, the reason we're here,
Is
if
to
I
talk
could, if you
about
couldn't hear me
movies.
properly because of interruptions. Wow, I can't even talk about how he's interrupting me without getting interrupted.
You said you weren't gonna edit this either.
Fuck, no, I'm not fucking editing it. Everyone's gonna know what I have to deal with.
Yep.
They're gonna know who you are, Brandon. They're gonna know what I put up with. They're gonna see me.
The crass Canadian.
Please don't.
Anyway, we're here to talk about video game, movie, fucking something.
We're here
Damn it,
to
you
talk about
discombobulated.
Halloween video games, Mike. Video games that have to do with
Yes.
horror and Halloween, and also, by my coincidence, I noticed after we decided that these were probably going to be the games that we chose, also happen to be movies. Holy fuck, guys. Hold on to your hats. We got a trequel here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a quadrant, actually.
Get on your banana hats. No, man, it's
These
three.
games hold
It's
on
a
to your
movie, it's a
colostomy
video game,
bag,
and
man.
they're all about horror.
Yes, that's why we brought Sheldon.
Well, at least supernatural. They all got supernatural elements, at least.
Holy shit, that's why Sheldon's here?
Yeah.
My god, I actually just clued into that. I thought we brought Sheldon on because he was good at voices, but then he wasn't that great at voices. And I wasn't going to say that, but I was like, Mike, you got to get a bigger resource pool, man. I was like taking the piss on Mike for that. I was like, Mike, you can do good voices. What do you mean? Why are we?
Yeah.
What is this? No, it's because Sheldon's good at horror stuff. Now I'm on board. All right, team, let's do this. Have we launched yet, or are we at Mars already?
So when do we start recording? Is
Good
someone going to do a
Saturn, at
countdown?
least. Yeah.
That's gonna be me. I'm like,
Welcome
did
to
we
the world of-
evacuate Earth? Do I have time to go back? I forgot some things.
I
Anyway,
thought if I showed you what a professional co-host is like, you might pick up a thing or two. Apparently, I'm not a good role model myself, so I had to bring someone else along.
yeah,
Oh, you brought me on as a role model?
you're here to balance a ship.
Man,
It's
poor, poor man.
I'm that desperate.
You're here to balance a ship because Ivan's too impressionable, and so like Mike is trying to teach Ivan, but then he exposed Ivan to me.
Yeah, I would never interrupt you. I wouldn't do that kind of thing.
But now Ivan, he's got the dark seed in him.
Yeah, I just wouldn't do. I just fuck that.
Okay, well now that we've got a 7-minute intro done,
Guys, what are these 4
we're
games?
talking
that
about
we're playing? Ghostbusters?
we're yes, Alien 3, Beetlejuice, and Nightmare on Elm Street. Maybe not in that order, but the first one is, I think, I think we can agree. Like, we'll start with what is probably our favorite movie among the bunch, Ghostbusters.
You speak for yourself. You
That's
speak
what-
not for me, Mike. That's not accurate, but whatever. You can speak for the boys, not me. I think the best movie here is
Alright,
Beetlejuice.
blasphemy aside,
You guys are nuts. Easily.
Yeah, you are Mike's friend. We've seen what kind of taste you got.
I mean, look, that's an argument we can have at the end of the cast, I think. We should decide which movie out of all the games is the better one at the end and take votes or whatever, but like, for the time being, my money's on Beetlejuice, unless you guys can sway me otherwise. Definitely not Ghostbusters.
No, Beetlejuice. Are we talking about a
That's
movie or
good.
the game being the best?
The movie.
I think he's saying
Okay,
movie.
Beetlejuice is high on my list of favorite movies, but Ghostbusters, I'm not kidding at all. Ghostbusters is my all-time favorite movie.
Jeepers.
yeah, I'll say Beetlejuice is good. It's great, but Ghostbusters, greatest there is.
Oh,
I'm gonna go-
Beetlejuice easily in my top 10.
I'm gonna go out of my way to learn the lines of Ghostbusters, but not like the important like catchphrase lines, but like the ands and thes that are in between all the lines. And then when we like talk next time, I'm just gonna be like, "Yo, you didn't get that? I fucking set that line up so perfect." I'm gonna be that guy.
Let's sneak up on her quietly.
Yes, have some. Yes, have some.
I don't know what you guys are doing. I haven't actually done that yet. That was hypothetical.
We're doing what you said.
Yeah, right. I don't know that though.
We're
'cause I
reciting the
haven't-
lesser known lines from the movie.
That's my point. I haven't.
Maybe you
like-
should actually watch the movie.
Look, it's been like 152 probably years, all right? So it's been a while.
Ugh.
It's been some time since I watched Ghostbusters.
That movie's older than you.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, well,
The 84?
we'll talk about. We all know how great
Yeah.
the movie is. The game, well, E.T. Anybody?
Digga-dee-dee-dee-doo.
And the best part,
Digga-dee-dee-dee-doo. This game fucking sucked.
and this came, yeah, it came out in 1984. So you think like, oh, people learned their lesson after the video game crash of 1983? No.
I didn't realize
Just
it
thought,
was.
You know how we're gonna save the video game industry? We're gonna do the same fucking thing.
I didn't realize that.
No, that's okay. At least they
Sorry, Sheldon, go ahead.
waited until the movie came out, right?
Yeah.
What was that?
You know, so
No, actually,
because you'd want to wait till the movie comes out so you can know what to make the game about.
yeah, that would be a good place to start. At least see, find out what the movie is about first. But no, they had other plans
Or
with
you
this
could-
game.
Yeah, they were just like, well, we'll just make the game. We know what it's about because it's in the title. Ghostbusting, right? It's easy.
So, basically, this whole game was based off a vague description.
Yeah, probably like the box art summary.
Right.
How did you guys? Okay, so Mike, did you play the game? Did anybody else play the game? How'd you guys do?
I fired up the game. I saw the overhead map with the Zool building, even though it's not called that in the movie. But
What's
I guess
it
they
called?
needed something with 4 characters.
Yeah, I don't care what it's called.
Yeah, you think Dana would have been a little suspicious?
Yeah, you think it would be called like Dana, like just to let you know, like this is Dana's apartment. But no, there is no Dana, only Zool.
Is Zool the name of the bad guy?
So,
No, Zool is the name of that dog that takes over her after it leaps out of her from the fridge. What was the name of the dog that took over Rick Moranis?
Vince
also-
Glothor.
oh, Vince Cortho, yeah.
Why is that a
yeah.
conversation? How is that a conversation? What was the name of the dog that took over Rick Moranis? It's Vince Luthor or whatever. How is that How is that a sentence that exists in parallel universes?
Because he has some of the best lines after the Ghostbusters
believe
catch
you.
him. And what was he talking about? Oh, like this is good. The fields are gonna run red with blood, and like he goes into this like apocalyptic garbage, and it's just friggin' hilarious. He's like talking about like the last time there was an apocalypse, and he goes like, "Oh, many skulls were fractured, and many lamentations were heard that day." You know, like he's reliving a concert. It was hilarious. Anyway, none of that clever, witty dialogue is in this.
Nope.
It is ghost busting, which should be awesome,
Yes.
right?
I agree, it should be.
Should be.
Yes, should be.
Was it?
Emphasis on should.
Well, this game pretty much gives you a hint of what you're in for right from the opening screen.
Why? Tell us
'Cause
why.
It doesn't look bad when you. Well, it doesn't look bad when you first turn it on because you do get the huge Ghostbusters logo. I mean, that's kind of hard to screw up. But they decided to show off their programming talents by putting in some real digitized voice into the opening screen, which was very uncommon for video games at the time. But they didn't do a great job with the digitized voice.
And it went downhill. from
Yeah,
there.
my guess is they got a voice actor to come in and he said, all you have to do is say Ghostbusters. When we'll count down from 3, when we say after we say 1, you just say the word Ghostbusters. And when they count to 1, just before the guy was about to say Ghostbusters, someone punched him as hard as he could in the stomach. Because what you get is not Ghostbusters, but you get Ghostbusters.
It's amazing. Hey guys, fun side
And
note.
what were you saying? What were you saying about me being the best guy with voices?
Yeah, no, that was accurate. That was pretty good. I mean, fuck, got me there.
Well,
Duh.
it's kind of an easy one to pull off. You just don't open your mouth and you say Ghostbusters.
Gerspurter. You pretend like you're a millennial on the
The
internet.
guy had his mouth wide
You want to know
shut.
something funny though, guys? Side note.
Ghostbusters is my favorite movie.
Side note.
It's Ghostbusters.
God damn it. Side note though, guys. Funny thing. I was just.
Now you know how it feels, you prick.
Yeah, I always know how it feels. The wiki for the Ghostbusters NES game, that I couldn't find like a regular one. The only one I could find is called Crappy Games Wiki. And it's in there. It's in Crappy Games Wiki. So that's a thing to consider.
I don't understand why.
You know, we have another podcast that's like sort of friends of ours. Mike knows them, and I listen to them a little bit. They're called Is It Worth It? And I can tell you right now, no matter how much money that they like tell you a fucking copy of this game is worth, it's not worth it. It's not.
Ooh, you hear that, Blaine? Shots fired.
No.
Why is Blaine like this
Well, it's
game?
not really shots fired. I'm pretty sure Blaine would agree. I'm pretty sure Blaine would agree with us.
I was gonna say, Blaine, listen.
It's like a friendly flare.
To be
not
no.
like a shot.
To be clear, shots were fired, but like just come to our side and start shooting with us. Shoot at all the people who think that this is a game that's worth. And join our team, man. Get on board. But yeah, that's a thing.
So, should we talk about the gameplay?
Okay, so
Well, I can't because as soon as I turned it on, my ROM crashed.
oh wow, mine crashed a couple
Your
times.
computer
but I fought
refused to
through it.
play the game.
And also,
My computer has better taste than I do.
wait, did you guys play it at all, Sheldon or Ivan? Did you guys? Other than
Well, okay, I'm gonna.
Yeah, I suffered.
recent.
Ivan, you played it?
Yeah, I suffered through it up to the Zool
Oh my
building.
god, really?
So you start with a So you start in the Ecto 1. You need to go to the shop like the Ghostbusters did.
All the time.
And you can fuck yourself right away there. If you purchase the wrong things, you won't be able to catch ghosts. So you got to purchase the right things, trap, ray gun, that kind of thing. Then you just wander around. You got this grid of buildings. I think it was 4x4,
Yeah.
5x5, something like that. And when you drive by a building that has ghosts, it flashes red. So at that point, press the button, and it moves to this street view, where if you're high on the screen, you drive fast. And if you're low on the screen, you drive slow, and you can run out of gas. No shit.
It's amazing.
You
It's
actually see the
quite
two
good.
guys get
Maybe
out
low.
and push it to the gas station. I mean, that's like the only good thing of the movie. Yeah, it's only good part of the game. It was cute as all hell. So anyway, once you get to the ghosts, you set up
Mario
this
and Luigi.
front view of a building, 2 Ghostbusters.
It's Mario.
Very,
It's Mario and
very
Luigi.
sick
Honestly,
look of-
it is.
Right. Yeah, right.
Yeah, basically.
So you
It's Luigi and Luigi because they're wearing green suits.
I had them. I wrote them
Right.
down as Fisher Price characters.
Like Fire Rescue Fisher Price, so like they
Yeah,
just
right,
got
really.
some other shit in their hands instead. You just switched them over to like the police.
Hey, Sheldon. While we're still on the green suit, Sheldon, you dressed up as the Ghostbusters for Halloween. Did you get the Glad bags like they did?
No, I actually went legit. Like me and my wife were Ghostbusters last year for Halloween, but we actually looked up, what the Ghostbusters use for their suits. They had U.S. military flight suits, and we ordered those from a military supply store. Got the Ghostbuster patches, made our proton packs, like using just printed off photos from the movie and just replicated what we saw on the screen. Yeah, so basically we did a better job than this game did.
You are amazing.
But like we
for
said at the
sure.
beginning, we had help because we had actually seen the movie.
Attaboy.
You had that infield advantage.
Exactly.
Yeah, you guys had a leg up from the start, really. So Sheldon, if Ivan, did you finish with your experience?
There wasn't too much
Is there
else
anything
beyond
you
that. You
wanted?
go from building to building, catching the ghosts, and eventually it tells you, go to Zool building, the building in the center. So you go there, and now you got this view of
Yeah.
staircases, and you got to press the button really fast to move. You're not moving with the D-pad. I mean, it's just nuts. And
Why would you
that's
not
where I
want to move
fell.
left and right with the arrows that actually have left and right on them?
Right, right. And you got ghosts that take you down. Anyway, you make it up to the top, and then you got probably the most interesting part of the game where you got the 2 dogs shooting little lasers at you. You got Gozer in the center shooting a laser
got
at
Vince
you.
Gl-
You got ghosts that are
You
shooting.
got Vince Neil and Zool shooting at you with their little
Right,
plasma balls.
right. So eventually, after you're done shooting Gozer enough,
Yeah.
you finish, and you have regrettably poor translation. Congratulation. Yeah, congratulations.
Oh, yeah, I was
you have
wondering.
completed a great game. Yeah. And proved, with 2 O's, the justice of our culture. Now go and list our heroes.
Culture, as if you were fighting
Yeah.
as if Gozer the Gozer was like a, I know, as if you're fighting like
For
a
any kind of
communist
culture.
ghost or something. You have
Yeah.
proved the justice of our culture. Apple pie, hot dogs.
Also, I love
baseball.
that
None of these things
So-
exist in the game. Country music, jazz.
hamburger.
None of these
Racism
things
because because we took the only black character out of this game.
That's right.
3
That's right.
Ghostbusters go up the stairs.
Ernie Hudson.
Yeah, actually, yeah,
Oh my fuck, poor
they
Winston.
whitewashed it.
Black Ghostbusters matter.
Sheldon,
Oh well.
what was your
Me
experience?
and Brandon were talking about this earlier, but so this was probably about 86, 87, because it was at the time when a friend of mine, his parents owned a little convenience store, and they rented movies and Nintendo games, and me and him actually completed this game over the course of a Saturday.
Oh my
You're a
god, that's been
masochist.
the worst Saturday of your life.
Yeah, that's. I don't know why you would. I mean, like, other than like out of boredom, you're looking at your friend and you're like, we could fuck or we could play this game. And we're too young, and I
I was
don't
like
think I'm in
7
the
years
dude.
old.
Well, we can experiment, or we can play this.
Yeah. So why don't we
What are
just
you
play
doing
this
at 7?
game?
God.
Yeah.
Brandon, what kind
So
of
we can
what
just play
kind of
this
life
game,
did
I
you
guess.
have what kind of life did you have?
Play
at 7?
Ghostbusters like every other fucking
Beating
show.
this game was kind of like finding out you just won like $1 million, and
Yeah.
you actually get the $1 million. They lay it out in front of you, open up a briefcase, and show it to you. And then before you get a chance to touch it, they light it on fire.
It is not even close to that. That's a real vivid image, but not anywhere close to that as far as I'm concerned.
It's more like you open up the suitcase and it's just a picture of $1 million, like a fake bill.
Or like a Bugs.
Like, here you
Yeah.
go. Here's your $1 million.
Instead of
You
million,
won $1 million.
instead of million, all the L's are replaced with R's.
Yeah. Here's your $1 million.
And it's like a shitty Polaroid picture.
Congratulations.
like Sharpie marker. Yeah, $1 million.
You have proved the justice of
My
capitalism.
experience with this game.
Oh, no.
You're fucked, Mike. Also, so all right, I'll get into it, I guess. But so my experience with this game was interesting because it kind of wraps up a little bit of everybody's. Like, I did play this once when I was a kid. I definitely like walked into my buddy playing it, and he was like embarrassed, and that was a whole weird thing. And I get why now, because like when I walked in, he was doing the car stuff, and I was like, "Cool, man." And he was like, yeah. And then, like, didn't, like, shoo me out, but just, like, answered me, and then I left. And then, like, obviously he went back to busting ghosts by himself. And I get it. Like, it's cool, man. I just want to reach out to you now and hit you up on Facebook and be like, I get it. But also, so, like, I started up here, and my emulator, it kept freezing, like Mike was saying, but also the start button or the select button, whichever button does nothing, it actually pauses the game. But it doesn't just pause it, it just pauses it and has a chance of like stroking out the emulator.
Right.
So it'll be like paused and the music will literally pause on that note and it'll be like and you're just like, what the fuck? And then so you hit unpause, and if you're lucky it'll be like and you're just like, sweet. And if you're unlucky, it's like, it just starts doing other noises, and you're like, that's not okay. And then the select button actually
Wait a second. Is this
opens
the
this, like,
Is this based on the movie Ghostbusters or the movie of that donkey show?
yeah, some donkey dubstep. But then also, so like the other button, the one that does something at the start and the select, all it actually does is open up your menu in your Ghostbusters icon, which like it took me forever to realize like the icon, it doesn't represent anything. It's like if you and me and Mike and Sheldon and Ivan, if we were, I don't know why I said me and you, whatever. If the listeners, there we go, that's the you. If the listeners and us were all in like a room and we were watching a tiny screen that just had the Ghostbuster symbol saying where they were and then we were controlling them, it's like a video game built around a fourth wall. It's fucked up. But like, so then you're that symbol and you're navigating around. So you can actually like slow down the ghost from getting into the building. And the whole idea is you can't fight that dude until the building gets full of ghosts and ghost power, which there's like a little bar at the bottom. And I only learned this by watching the walkthrough a couple of times. But like when you do the car missions, you can like, and like the car missions can happen at any time. Like you go up to a building to go trigger it, and it might just be a car mission to the building that you're already beside. So it doesn't make any sense. I think it knows where you were previously and makes you drive there, but I'm not sure how it knows that. That's like way too complicated. But sometimes you get a car
It's
mission.
like you have to plot the course and then do it.
Yeah, honestly, that's what it is sometimes. And like sometimes you get a car mission, but sometimes you just click on the building and it goes to it. And I'm like, what the fuck? But then, so there's that. Sometimes you run out of gas and your guys can push the car to the gas station, or you can choose to just go to the gas station. But the whole thing that I don't get is that like, I honestly like I tried to play the game for a while, got really frustrated because it's like shitty graphics and shitty controls, and I had experienced most of the levels by now. But like the whole thing is you can't fight Zool unless you have X amount of money, which is like $1,500, which you only gain by busting ghosts and not damaging your car. So every time you take your car on the road, you're risking losing money. And if you bust ghosts, you gain more money. But like if you just start the game and then you don't touch it, you already have enough money to fight Zool. As long as you don't lose any money from the car, then you're fine. And then if you just sit back in the corner, you can let those ghosts that you're supposed to be stopping take over the building that Zool's in, and that ghost energy goes up like 500 per ghost that goes in there. So you can just sit back for like 5 minutes, let the thing fill up, go fight Zool, and then while you're fighting Zool, if you beat him, the game's over. But if you let the building fill up and you don't go fight Zool, you can actually fight the Michelin Man too or something. And that part like just fucked me because he just shows up and wrecks buildings, and like he'll wreck a building 2 buildings away from you, but then the screen just ends and it's like you failed to save the city, and you get another really shitty translation about like how I honestly wish I'd screen capped it because I missed it, but it just says something about like how you failed to save New York and
The
all its
prophecy has
cultural
come
monuments.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, and the prophecy has come true and all this shit. And I was like, oh, that makes no sense. Okay, now I get it. And then I just like kept going. But
Yeah,
then
because apparently Stay Puft has already been summoned.
yeah, so like the thing is though, you can do nothing in this game and then just wait to go fight Zool, or you can be a proactive Ghostbuster. So I don't know what the fuck the message is really. Like it's really shitty and hard to play. So if you just don't play it, eventually you can beat the boss.
The justice of your culture is capitalism, because you have to raise like $30,000 in ghost busting before the Zool building will unlock. That's like another way to open it. And preparing with traps and everything then drops you below 30, so then the Zool building will be closed up again. Because fuck the gamer.
Yeah.
And
Exactly. If
the
you
best
do
part is,
nothing,
like, you're just
you have enough. But
you're
if you
stuck
do
you're
anything,
stuck
you're
busting
fucked
the
and you have
same-
to do more.
you're stuck busting the same 4 Atari level ghosts again and again, shooting like just cycling balls of energy. Like basically, if you were like Mega Man hitting the turbo button, that's what your Ghostbuster is like.
It's
But
basically
again,
just
like,
a game about grinding. It's like one of the very first grind 'em ups.
RPGs.
Yeah, you start with X amount. It's enough to get anything you want, unless you buy one thing. And if you buy one thing, then you have to go like get fuel or something, souls for that one thing. And while you're getting souls, you're gonna get money, so you can buy more one things.
And if you do manage to cross the streams, the ghost that you collect will merge into a bigger ghost, but he doesn't become a threat. He doesn't get more money. He just turns into a bigger thing that falls into the trap anyway. And you got to do this like a lot of times. It's boring as fuck. And then you have to throw like ghost food when you're
Yeah.
doing the stair levels to distract the ghosts. But when you go up, they don't just like stay down, they slide up with you because there's nothing left in the processor to allow images that aren't,
Yeah.
off
So
screen.
it forgets that there's food down there, and then they come after you instead.
God, that's fucking terrible. And like you can only like buy a limited amount, so you can't even buy like, well, I'm guessing I'm gonna buy like 10 of these ghost foods because yeah, you have 23 floors of this. And you can open doors that will like create ghosts, but if you create enough ghosts, then it will speed hack the game and slow the ghost down.
Nice.
And when you get to the top,
So then it's like,
you fight.
I was just gonna say, so when you
Yes.
speed hack it, then it's like, and all the ghosts just have a stroke.
And the best part is, like, it's called the Zool building, but you don't fight Zool because Zool is one of the 2 dogs that shoot plasma at you, and you can only shoot Gozer the Gozerian, who is topless and in a thong.
Yeah, I was wondering what the fuck that was about when I was watching the walkthrough. I forgot to mention that.
And the best part is, like, if you dodge too low to get rid of the beams, you enter a new screen that shows an advancing Stay Puft climbing the building.
Oh yeah,
And,
that's the one
you
that I
let
was
him
talking
reach
about.
the top. Yeah, you let him reach the top. You don't get to shoot him because game over. And there's not even a boss music for Gozer, is there? It's
Wait,
just that
that's-
same fucking theme. Da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da.
All game long.
I think that the
Yeah.
the Stay Puft thing was something different than what I was talking about. But I believe you.
No, it's
That's
the
what's
same
important.
Michelin Man.
No, I get
And
what you're
then,
saying. He's like climbing up the side of the building like King Kong style, right? The thing that you're talking
Yeah.
about? Yeah, I know. The thing that I'm talking about is like if you wait long enough, you can fight Zool. And then if you wait longer than that, like a complete dickhead like me, who's outside getting stoned or something, and you go back, then the Stay Puft Man shows up in the overhead map and he starts smashing buildings. And once he gets to like 2,
Huh.
then the little thing comes up and it's like, you fucked up, dickhead, cultural destruction.
We got no culture left.
You got no culture. He crushed the last hot dog stand. You're fucked. Much dishonor.
America
upon
no
your
longer
family.
has hot dogs. America no longer has hot dogs.
don't.
We're too malnourished and depressed to play baseball.
No hot dog, no honor.
I mean, like the lie. Like, you have completed a great game.
No, but, no. You didn't even complete making a great game, you fuck. Who wrote this? That guy deserves a slap in the fucking mouth by everybody who played this game. Just a slap in the mouth. It'll eventually wear his cheek down until you're just slapping teeth.
Yeah, David Crane actually wrote this game. I mean, he put out some pretty good games in his time. I don't know what was going on with this one.
Well, I mean-
somewhere. Was it one of his first games, or did he already make good games first and then decide, oh man, I gotta squeeze one out?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like this, man. Like when you think about everybody's like at work or whatever, and you're talking about like, man, I took a great shit the other day, and everybody thinks about their bowel movement schedules. Some people are like, I'm a 2 a day, or I'm a 3 a day, or I'm a 1 a day, or you know, everybody's all over the board. And then you think like, man, but there's sometimes though when I'm like a 3 a dayer, and then I just fart, and I'm like, oh god, it's number 4. Like maybe this guy was just like, I'm cranking out great games all the time, but then all of a sudden sometimes it's like a little shart. And you're just like, that's dangerous. I'll just not tell anybody that it exists.
Oh man, I'm at the party. I can't leave. Fuck, they're gonna know.
Exactly.
Nobody talk to me. Nobody talk to me. Nobody talk to me.
Guys, my ass hurts because I've been sitting in this garbage couch, and we haven't finished the first game part yet.
You're suggesting we move on?
Readjusting my
uh,
seating situation.
We got one more thing to talk about with Sheldon. Since we've talked about this horrible bad note, can you tell us a good note about your Ghostbuster suits for I think what's your plan this year?
Oh, well, just because we put so much effort into the suits last year, we said we should get more in out of them. So in our city, there's this annual Halloween ghost walk, like a haunted tour type of thing. So we decided to get a couple of tickets for that, and we're going to show up in full Ghostbusters gear. Complete with our proton packs, ghost trap, PKE meters.
Nice.
And we're going to try as best as we can to...
You guys gonna
Yeah,
wander
we're gonna,
around?
we're gonna follow the tour group, but we're gonna take it like very seriously and scan everything. And you know, we hear like a noise, draw the proton packs, and like turn like very concerned looking. So
You just look at
Just
your
so long
meter.
it-
I'm picking up a class 5 full torso vapor.
I just want to do the whole thing with like in the movie with Egon in the hallway. Just like go over to a person, start scanning them, and then like jab them with my finger.
Oh, and if you find any mushrooms, be sure to take one.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah, just don't-
I collect spores and fungus.
Oh.
Just don't reenact the blowjob scene.
At
Well,
least
we'll
not
see.
there.
We'll see if we
That-
get
we'll see if we can
arrested.
find like a nice quiet corner somewhere.
Yeah, I was gonna say, or do,
that's for their home.
or
That's for
do,
the,
but like in the cemetery.
that's for their home video, Nutbusters.
Yeah, speaking of home, my son actually learned the birds and the bees from seeing that. I forgot about the blowjob scene, and I showed it to him. He was like 9 years old. My wife and I are looking at each other like,
Oh man.
fuck. I forgot about that.
We forget so much of the things in 80s movies. Like, we saw these movies as kids, but we always forget the things that you can't show kids. Like, even E.T. The first thing Elliot says is, like, he calls his brother penis breath.
I remember that.
Like, again, do you remember in E.T.?
Yo, Willy
the
Wonka's got a penis
blowjob?
breath thing too.
What?
I don't remember. E.T. the blowjob.
Well, fuck.
also,
it's the
that's
first
way
few
more
minutes.
fun.
It's the first few minutes of the movie after we see the alien running through the woods. They're playing like what was it,
Right.
Dungeons and Dragons or something? They were playing something, and
I
then
believe they
the
played
older
Dungeons
brother
and
says
Dragons.
something, and then he goes like, "Shut up, penis breath."
Oh, I do remember the penis breathing now. You
My
mentioned it.
parents looked at me and said, "You can never say that."
Also, in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, apparently snozberries are actually a reference to dick. So when he's like licking the wallpaper and he's like, the snozberries taste like snozberries, he means dick. Yeah, think about that, kids. I don't know, some other Gene Attenborough
So anyway.
book. Who's that guy? Gene Wilder.
Ray Bradbury,
Ray Bradbury.
Gene Wilder. Gene Wilder.
Who wrote the book? So
Gene Roddenberry.
Gene Wilder.
Whoever
I
wrote
got
the
a quote
books.
from Ernie Hudson I think sums this game up pretty well.
yeah, okay.
So Ernie Hudson played Winston Zedmore, said, "My kids really hated it. They thought it sucked." Amen, brother.
Attaboy.
Amen.
What, the movie or the game?
The game.
Okay,
The
good. 'cause if
blowjob
his kids
scene.
hated the game. That's some disowning shit.
His kids hated the blowjob
No,
scene. They
no,
thought it
the game.
sucked.
If this had a blowjob mini game where you had to like alternate between the B and the A buttons to hold your nut, that would have been fucking great.
No, B and A is up and down.
It's like the Spectre can only last in this world for 3.5 minutes before it has to phase back. Can you last?
Oh, I'm good. 3.5 minutes, I'm good.
That's a little generous for me, I gotta be honest.
Only 3.5 minutes? Like, what do I gotta talk after? Or, like, I'm gonna have time to hear my whole life story?
Oh, fuck. Has anyone got anything else on Ghostbusters?
No.
Nope. I just sent you guys a picture of me and my wife meeting Ernie Hudson. Actually, you just reminded me of it when you said it.
Oh, your wife's adorable.
Shit. And he's wearing a Ghostbusters shirt. What was
Also-
it, Boston?
It says Winston rules.
Sheldon,
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know you were black, bro.
No, I'm the chick. I'm the chick on the right.
Well, you got a
Very
handsome,
good.
Yeah, he's just. We go
handsome
to
husband. There you go.
the Toronto Comic Con, and we're like, hey, Ernie Hudson's supposed to be here, and we see like this little booth with his name on it, and he's not around. So I'm like, oh, maybe he left. Maybe he's finished with it. And like, we turn around, and he's like walking towards us, eating a salad, just like, hey guys, what's up?
Hey, guys, salad. It's a
I
thing.
was like, hey man, Ghostbusters is my favorite movie. Can I get a picture taken with you? Yeah, okay, sure.
Wow, that is just.
I've seen shit that'll turn you white.
Okay, so
Oh, that's Ghostbusters.
what's next game up?
Yeah, exactly. What is next?
Are we gonna go in descending movie quality?
No, because that's
If
an
we
argument.
do that, it's
Sure.
gotta be Nightmare on Elm.
According to Brandon, we already broke that,
Yeah, exactly.
that method, so.
Okay,
Now, why
well,
don't we go with Brandon's next favorite game? Or next favorite movie.
While
rather.
we're pondering weak and wary, let us turn to something scary. Shitty games I turn loose. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Oh man, he nailed it. That was the page that I already had open.
That was actually, I was impressed, Mike. That might be the most creative thing you've ever done. Right
Yeah.
there.
Don't have
And-
kids. Don't
and-
have kids.
You may,
Because if you do,
Is that an
you may have peaked.
yeah,
is that an insultment?
an insultment. Yeah. You wasted all that talent on a Beetlejuice reference, though. Just know that. When you go see John Paul at the pearly gates, he's gonna be like, really? I mean, it was a good reference, but really?
Wait a second. Wait, I'm meeting Sean.
John
I'm
Paul?
meeting Sean Paul at the pearly gates.
I said John, but
I thought you said John Paul, the
I
drummer,
did say John.
the bassist for Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, when you meet him in heaven.
You can't
whoever-
come inside because you were suicidal. Suicidal.
Hey, Mike, sing a song from this movie, Beetlejuice.
Oh wait, that was Sean Kingston. Fuck. Who's Sean Paul then?
Sean Paul is the temperature guy. Got me burning.
What is?
Oh, the
what
Weatherman?
is that like? Oh yeah, we be burning, not concerning what nobody wanna say.
Yeah, that guy. The guy that you love
Wait, he
so
sounds
much.
just like the guy that sang that song "Suicidal."
Yeah, they do sound a lot alike.
Oh, that's
because
racist.
They both got like a dumbass Kingston Jamaican accent. Except Sean Kingston is like
And
a
they're
whole lot whiter and a whole lot younger. Not whiter literally, but just whiter sounding. I don't know. I do not know the cultural background of either of those dudes, but I guarantee you Sean Kingston probably lies less about his cultural background than Sean Paul does. I'm sure Sean Paul is lying about whatever the fuck he says. I don't care what color he says he thinks he is. He's probably wrong. And not on purpose, just because I'm sure he is not even aware.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know. I'm one of those like
that white.
bald, brown, tall people, you know? I might be Greek, I might be Puerto Rican, who knows?
I just
Like that.
avoided the whole thing. I just went straight for Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, you sure did.
Yeah, so let's get on to this game.
Oh God, do we gotta?
It's it's by LJN.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The shit rainbow of death.
Well put.
So wait, did we decide that the Ghostbusters game isn't LJN? Is there one that isn't LJN here?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that was
okay,
Activision.
yeah, that makes sense. So we got the good game out of the way. The rest we could let's just not.
Yeah.
You're half right anyway.
Okay, so this it's immediately got Beetlejuice, like he's got this when we see him on the cover, he's like vomit green,
Yeah.
and he's got his like teeth sticking out, his upper lip curled up, like he's trying to do like a donkey bray, and someone just decided, yeah, let's use that picture.
Yeah, it's not a flattering picture. I mean, honestly, we've all seen Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice isn't like a guy who's like, you know, about being flattered, I guess to say. Like he's fine with being gross and doing what needs to get done. But like, I don't
Just
think
keeping it real, you know.
Yeah, I don't think he actually like knew that was the picture that they were going to use, because I'm sure he would be a little bit upset. Like he loves to do the whole slick your hair back and talk to the ladies like you are like a suave guy. So I'm sure that if he saw that picture, he'd be like, no, you got to put something else there. Like I'm not going to get represented.
What's
by
that
this."
chirping sound?
What's the what?
There was a chirping sound.
I don't know what that was. I heard it too.
Yeah, I did too.
I haven't heard anything. Maybe it's from my end. Who knows?
You got chipmunks next to you.
well,
It's possible.
Yeah, flattering.
possible.
You might,
But
you might
anyway.
pay off the flattery later.
Listeners, give us your comments and your reviews. Let us know what you guys think that chirping sound is, and we'll have a poll. The winner wins Mike's virginity. There you go. Now
Ouch.
we've interacted with the listeners, and the listeners now have a part of us to hold on to. Anyway, so the juice.
Yeah.
Who's sawing cardboard?
Yeah, well, yeah, let's segue from Mike's virginity to the juice.
To the juice.
Oh yeah, the Beetlejuice is loose. He
Did any-
starts off the game saying it's showtime.
Hold on. Did any of you guys?
Oh, and speaking of
Did any of you guys actually play the game this time around?
what?
What do you mean what? You
Yeah,
what?
Oh, yeah.
a little bit.
A little? Ivan?
I tried, but I kept over jumping everything, and I said, "Fuck this."
Yeah,
That
it's
was
like the
about it.
controls are real sloppy, and it took me forever because like I tried playing it, I really did. I got through a few of the levels, and the hard part was like you can't kill a lot of the enemies until you get like halfway through the
Right.
first level, and then you're like, oh, this is why I can't kill them. But then after I purchased that shit, I didn't know how to activate it. I would go to my pause menu, I would select it, and then I'd exit the pause menu, and I would still just be dumb dick Beetlejuice getting hit by stuff. And I was like, what the fuck? And it wasn't
Yeah.
until like halfway through the level when I was like, okay, fuck this. And then it tells you have to be the skeleton to like kill the fucking beehive. And I'm like, okay, so I guess I
Right.
need to figure this out. So I looked it up, and the guy didn't even like say it. It was something I figured out.
Brandon was trying to be the gasoline
For what? Oh, for the beehive. Yeah.
to get rid of the
Yeah.
beehive.
So,
how
yeah,
lame-
but like I looked it up, and the
How
guy
lame is
doesn't.
it that bit?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you finish. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say when I looked it up, the guy doesn't even say like what he's doing. He's just doing the shit, and I watched him do it. and I realized, oh, there's like an extra button noise just before he exits the menu, so he must be pushing another button, and that's how I figured out how to actually change.
Yeah, you're confirming what you're doing.
Yeah, I didn't realize that there was like a thing that you had to like confirm, so it took me forever, but finally when I realized that that's how you do it, I had like a million skeletons, so I just walked through the next level and a half doing nothing but shooting fireballs, you know what I mean? So it was a little bit
Really?
OP at that point.
Because
Yeah.
it took me forever to grind up. The way you get those skeletons and the other
You just
weapons
stand
in
on
the
the
game
bug
is
holes.
to literally grind the little beetles that come out of holes in the ground, various parts of the levels. It
Yeah.
takes you for fucking ever.
You got to spawn camp.
Honestly,
those
that's what I did.
suckers.
In my experience too, I didn't realize that you could push jump and down to go to a platform that's beneath you, and I didn't realize that you could push jump and down to enter those bug holes and get like bonus shit. So it took me forever to figure that out, and once I figured that out, I had already
Oh
spent
wow!
a bunch of time grinding those bug holes.
I did not see that.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
When you stand on them, you can like stomp the bugs, but every so often I would accidentally.
Brandon, you obviously.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you obviously spent more time at this game than the rest of us.
I mean, it was kind of interesting because I wanted to see how true to the movie it was going to be because I really liked Beetlejuice as a kid. He was that like prick kind of anti-hero that like didn't exist just yet. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden his archetype was everywhere. And,
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't as good. But you know, Beetlejuice was one of the first ones.
No,
Oh, this was another one of those. Yeah, another one of those '80s movies where you just think, man, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the Deo scene. I enjoyed like them making funny faces in the waiting room. This is going to be like a great movie to show the kids. Until you watch it again and you realize, oh yeah, you forgot the part where he honks his crotch and goes, "Nice fucking model." I'm like, God damn you '80s movies. Why can't you be shown to kids in this generation?
No, honestly,
I
those.
say do it anyway. Just show
Yeah,
it to
these
them.
kids need to see that shit. These kids are too fucking pampered. I'm pretty sure both Sheldon
Actually,
and
no.
Ivan.
Yeah, they're too soft.
You know what?
What?
I'm not showing my son that because he will be doing that in front of everybody.
Well, I'm not
Nice
gonna.
fucking insert whatever word.
Nice fucking breakfast, Dad.
I'm not gonna say like this kind of falls
And
to
I
the
don't care.
parents.
See, I would find that funny. I would laugh my ass off. If he did that to me, I'd be laughing my ass off. But he's going to be going to school
Yeah, you're
doing
not-
those things.
Well, that's
yeah. Just,
You're not gonna punish him, and you get called to the principal's office. They tell you what he did, like, nice fucking math problem, teacher.
oh god.
And she expects you to. I know she expects you to discipline him, but you're too busy falling over on the floor, buckled over,
yeah.
laughing.
Honestly though, like I'm not trying to like pull punches here. I'm not a dad, and I don't fucking do kids. They scare the shit out of me. All right, but all I'm saying is like, you know that you love this movie, and you know your son's personality. He's your son, right? So you can guess if he would or wouldn't like this thing, and you already have openly said he would immediately get addicted to this one idea in the movie, right? So it's kind of your responsibility to let him have something that he'll enjoy, that you know that he'll enjoy, because in your mind, if you keep that away from him, then you're like, you know, you're taking that joy away from him and keeping that from him. That's terrible. But like, you have to be able to like give it to him and teach him, like, look, son, this is funny as fuck. You will surely get a laugh out of this demographic of people, and that's why it's appropriate when this demographic of people is around. But you got to understand that when those people aren't around, it won't read the same. Nobody's gonna laugh at you, and then I'm gonna have to clean up that mess. So,
And you have
so it's your responsibility to use this
you
appropriately.
have to understand that this blowjob scene in Ghostbusters is funny, but it's not appropriate to think that you can blow somebody and get a
Yeah,
laugh.
exactly. With great power comes great responsibility. You know what I mean? I think
And with great suction comes a good revenue
exactly.
source.
I think you should show it to him as a social experiment.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
See if
But
you
like I
can
said-
train him.
Yeah, just an example. A little while ago, we were just me and him were just talking. We're talking about some video games, and we're just talking about stuff. And he's like, "Oh, I got to show you a video." So while I'm waiting for him to load it up, out of nowhere, he just goes, "Smoke weed every day." So I had to ask, like, oh, okay, what did you just say?
And he's like, I don't know, Dad. I heard it in a commercial. And you're like, yeah, I believe that because it's 2017 now.
He heard it on. He heard it. No, he was like, I don't know. I was watching. He's like, I'm watching some Vine videos on YouTube and somebody said it.
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go.
It's probably that Super Mario Brothers 3 video.
How old is your son?
Well, you guys are in Canada after all.
9?
Yeah, right in that
That's even
terribly
better.
impressionable spot, you know?
Well, he is a fan of SpongeBob, so it kind of makes sense. Like, it was only a matter of time before those two avenues intersect.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
You know, this episode of SpongeBob is funny, but when you also get high, it's even funnier.
Yeah, it's true. I have a fond spot for SpongeBob. I'll admit it. Mike's right.
Don't you love it when stereotypes are true?
I don't care what time of the day it is, man. If it's 9:30 at night and you put on SpongeBob and hand me a bowl of cereal, oh man, I am the happiest panda.
Mm-hmm. That's a good time.
A little SpongeBob, little bowl of cereal, maybe some Transformers after that. Oh boy.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Frig, I still watch
so
Transformers.
this one time I was playing.
Have you seen the new DuckTales? That show is
No,
great.
I haven't seen that yet. But this one time though, I was playing what's it called? This game Beetlejuice.
It's worth watching.
Holy shit, we just got brought back on track
Wow.
by Brandon. He leads us away and he brings
Okay,
us
so
back.
this game is horrible.
Yeah. I found it really, really annoying that you had to grind, not just grind, but do that in order to have any kind of attack power whatsoever.
Did it really matter which of one of these like scary faces you get? So, like,
Yeah.
what I noticed in the videos is that like you get a mask and you shoot a fireball. Does it really matter what mask you put on, or is it just like you get a mask and you shoot like a different shaped fireball, which is essentially affects enemies the same way?
Well, it depends on whether you're in the platforming level or the overhead level. In the platforming levels, I couldn't tell any difference. In the overhead level, it's a slightly different effect. Kind of ricochets around the room. But
Oh yeah, depending if you're like doing a platformer or an overhead. Like I've seen like one where like a flying hammer will just ricochet back and
Right,
forth, but
right.
and when you're in the sewers or like doing side scrollers, then like your mask will change you into like that elongated face or a skeleton, but you still seem to shoot a fireball nonetheless, just like a different shaped fireball.
Yeah. Very little difference.
So Sheldon, what was your experience with this game?
Oh, this is another one of those games that it either feels like all surfaces are covered in ice or you're wearing roller skates all the time. Like, it's just... Jumping was just way too complicated, like going from ledge to ledge. And it was another one of those games where if you're going on a level where when you climb, it scrolls up.
Oh,
But then
God,
if you
yeah.
jump down off the platform, you die instead of like just fall. Like instead of level scrolling down with you, you just die.
Right.
Ground no longer exists.
It's been consumed by the nothing.
Exactly.
Ground doesn't exist, but Brandon's alive. I live.
Hey, Brandon. We're just talking about the shitty jumps in Beetlejuice.
Yeah, for some reason the Skype like I don't know copped out, but like kept you guys going. So you guys were robots for a long time, and then all of a sudden it sped up way too fast, and I heard everything. So that like honestly, when you get these two tracks, we should do a bonus track where you just like layer them as the proper timestamps, and then the listeners can hear me in the background like, "What's happening? I'm scared." Well, you guys just casually continue. It's gonna be hilarious. But anyway, editing magic aside, boo, we're back.
So,
Oh, magic, you mean the fucking nightmare that I have to do just so I can, like, hear us talking and not have you going, guys, hello, difficulties.
This was of the 4 games. This was the one I gave up on.
Really?
yes, absolutely.
This one I
will
actually
say one
hung
nice
on.
thing for the.
Go ahead.
There was one thing I enjoyed about the game, to some degree anyway, the music.
Yeah.
And it wasn't incredible, it wasn't the best I've ever heard, but there were a few tunes that got stuck in my head.
Yeah. Some of the
And they're
some of the enemies, I mean, like
attic?
a lot of the movie didn't make a lot of sense, but some of the enemies didn't make a lot of sense either. Like at one point, you're getting chased by a door. Mike pointed out.
Yes.
Well, I was just saying, like the enemies don't make a lot of sense. The game's fun. The music's all right. I mean, like the game's not terrible. The music's fun. The enemies are interesting, but like the movie kind of doesn't make sense. So
Would we say the game's not terrible?
I would.
Yeah, we're going to have to
honestly.
disagree with
Is
you.
that
The
the,
game
uh,
is absolutely terrible. The jumps are absolutely horrible. It's like someone's, I don't know, greased the air.
You're entitled to your opinion, Brandon. You're just wrong.
And you know, you're right. I can be wrong. That's, you know, I'm okay with that. It's not the first time. I'm used to
Hey,
this
if
couch.
you love it, more power
This
to
is
you.
the loser
More
couch.
power to you. I'm with Sheldon. This was the one that I enjoyed the least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not even worth it because I watched the video out because I could not deal with the frustrating anti-gravity bullshit here. So I watched, and here are some bosses. One guy looks like Gomez Adams without the mustache, assaulting you with a spray can.
Yeah.
And then another one is a football player.
Right, because
And
Beetlejuice
most-
faced those in the movie.
Oh yeah, and then the best part is like all the Dietz families, and I guess like the Maitlands, which were the two people that died in the beginning of the game movie. They just stand in doorways and they won't move unless you give them an item. And it's not like you're a all-powerful
Yeah.
prankster that takes shit from nobody. So you have to go on these fucking fetch quests and just give them like some glasses. And even Lydia, she's like, oh, Lydia, she's nuts about me. You think she'd be like, oh, I actually like Beetlejuice. I will get out of the way to help him with his thing. But no, give me a ring. Put a ring on it. So he has to find a friggin' wedding ring, and through that, like, you get chased by a door, and if it brings you to Limbo, where you have to fight a sandworm,
Yeah, that was actually kind of interesting.
and then you find like one thing that looks like an actual ghost, like a shade or a specter or a banshee. And all this time I'm wondering, wow, the last boss of
that's
this
it.
movie has got to be amazing. Guess who the last boss is? Brandon, Sheldon, guys? Ivan knows who it is.
No idea.
Brandon,
I forget.
what do you think the last boss is?
I forget.
Do you think it's like some big complicated Deo scene where you have to like make everybody do the mambo? That would be good.
No. My final answer is I bet you it's something to do with waiting in line at the ticket thing in Limbo with that lady
You
behind you.
nailed it. Unbelievable.
Really?
Anticlimactic waiting room
No.
scene. Just another platform level. You get
You
through to the
end
end.
up, yeah, you get through to the end, and there's no boss.
Right.
That's one kick in the nuts. There's no boss, and he ends up on a stage because the whole thing is him making his way to a show.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh yeah.
the show begins with him being like, I guess I don't even know what the fuck he said. He was just like, just remember I'm the ghost with the most. So like we don't even get to see what this show is.
I'm the ricketiest Rick. Wubba lubba dub dub. And then it just closes, and you're like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
Same thing that always happens.
The video game comes to an end, and he's like, 16 more seasons.
Same thing that always happens. Beetlejuice killing more Beetlejuices.
I mean, just incredible. Brandon aside, we all thoroughly disliked this game. And it doesn't even have a proper ending. I mean, right down to the end. You're
There's
taking
no
a
credits
you're,
even.
You're taking a dump the entire time, and it still manages to shit the bed at the end. I mean, how is that possible?
Also, everything about this. Sorry, I am the death right now. Everything about this game just kind of screams those like Looney Tunes, like Sega Genesis, Dreamcast era Looney Tunes games.
Sure.
Where it's just like a bunch of clip art sort of thing,
Right.
and you're just like derping around on platforms, and it's just like a logo quest where they're like, hey, you watched the TV show, go to that dumb arbitrary place, and then you can look at those characters that you know do stuff not in the TV show, and it's just a showcase, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Oh,
And
absolutely.
like this just kind of that And this was like before any of that even existed, so I don't blame them for like getting on the bandwagon. If anything, these guys should be given credit for the other people having such an easy time making those other styles, or like, you know, like those other games. But like, I don't know, this much credit as I can give it for because it's old. It's old as fuck, right? Like,
Not
Yeah,
really.
I would've-
No,
Yeah,
no, it wasn't.
it's old, but I mean, is that an excuse? There's games that are older that
I was
are
going to
much
say this.
better.
This came out in
Yeah.
'91. This was not early in the NES life cycle.
all right, maybe I'm just, that's
Yeah.
all that is. It came out in 91. I just turned 26. That's what's happening right now. I'm having a flashback of like, you know, oh God, my whole life. Give it a break, guys. It's totally fine.
Yeah, this
It gets a pass.
if this
Who
game
was-
was dedicated.
Ooh, I wasted my life.
Go ahead.
Oh, you know, he said his whole life, he's contemplating his life, and I just did the, ooh, I wasted my life.
There was like, in one of the newest, one of the new DuckTales episodes, there was an episode where Donald, like, I think he was going on this shit. I forget if it was like a ride. Like he has like this slight near-death experience, and like just when he's like his nephews are trying to calm him down, and he just like ends up screaming, "I've wasted my life." And meanwhile, and he spent his life
Yeah.
like looking after his nephews, so they just give him this whole look of like, "You fucker," and he realizes, "Oh, did I
that's
say
great.
that out loud?"
Oh God.
All right, boys. So you done with Beetlejuice? Are we bored with
So
this
anyway-
shit?
So this
Oh,
game
God,
should have
yeah.
this game should have ended with like him making everybody do the Deo thing.
Yeah, it would have been cheesy, but it would have been something topical.
So that's,
This game needs to be exercised and sent to the Lost Souls room.
Now, here's a question for you two on the Graveyard Shift. Would you rather play Beetlejuice or watch that? What was it? Hollow's End.
Oh,
I would rather watch
I got
Hollow's
Sophie's
End.
choice here for you.
God damn.
it's like Sophie's choice. It's Sophie's choice if she hated her kids. It's like, sorry, we got bad news. One of your kids has to live. Oh fuck! Really?
Well, let's just say after playing Beetlejuice, I didn't try to smash my computer, so I'm gonna have to give Beetlejuice the win on that one.
Fair enough.
It was a close one, ladies and gents, but there you have it, neck and neck. Beetlejuice and that other thing that they referenced. You'll never hear it like that again, folks.
Okay, so
But anyway, so Beetlejuice, that was a fun time.
So-
What else do we got on
What
our
do we wanna
docket
do?
here?
Do we-
We got Alien.
yeah, we got Alien, and I guess we'll handle that last, and we'll handle that, and then do Freddy last. So, Alien 3.
Well,
Alright, Alien.
you-
First off, before we talk about the game,
Alien 3.
what did
woo.
anybody of you guys think about the movie?
I didn't watch
Me
it.
neither. I think I saw like a black guy try to box a xenomorph, and after that I was just like,
Okay.
you know what, fuck that. If there's an alien that's
He
like,
didn't try to.
Hold on, wait, Mike. Was he boxing the xenomorph in space? Like, were they
No,
on
it
a
was like a
satellite or some
foundry.
shit? Or like in a ship?
no, it was like a foundry.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
like
a
they're-
prison planet.
They were like on a planet?
Right,
Oh,
right. it
never
was,
mind. Because I was going to say, if that was a black guy trying to box a xenomorph in space, that's basically a unicorn.
What?
It's an Archer reference. In the season 3, they meet a black guy
Yeah,
who's on a
he
space
shot a
station,
black,
and then
shot a
Cyril
black
kills him.
astronaut.
Yeah. Yeah. Cyril, you might as well just kill the unicorn.
Oh wow.
And he's a boxer.
So anyway,
Well,
Anyway.
he's like a
something less racist. Fiore,
He's like a prison guy,
Yeah.
so I think he tried to make the
That's not
xenomorph his bitch.
racism. That's topical references to a cartoon that exists. And the season that I'm referencing happens to be like 4 years old. It's not that bad.
Very well.
Topical with large air quotes.
Okay, so yeah, she lands on
Anyway.
a planet. The child that she spent all this time trying to save dies in the impact. So yeah, that's a great reason to die. Plus, the kid had a stupid name like Newt, like basically named after the Minotaur, the centaur from Hercules. So fuck that.
As opposed to the tiny lizard.
You are the only one that knows that, Mike. What the fuck is the matter with you some days? Oh my god.
What, did you not watch Hercules?
Yeah, I
To be
watched
clear,
it.
we're
I didn't know there was
talking
a
about Alien
fucking
2, right?
Centaur.
Cent-
3.
Centaur, he's the freak. No, Newt, he was the little guy that's like, oh, Herc, Daedalus has got the fucking ring of power. He's gonna fucking Mount Olympus. Ah.
Mike.
Well, you're the one that said a Centaur. Or whatever.
Centaur.
I don't think that existed, Mike. I think you need to lay off the weed.
No, it's the 60s cartoon. The main theme was sung by Johnny Nash. And this thing goes like,
Oh, you're talking about a
Hercules,
60s cartoon.
hero of fame and
you're
glory,
surprised that I haven't seen it.
Hercules.
Oh, now I get it.
No, what did you think I was talking about?
Well,
Like, do you
listeners
think
at
I
home,
was
I'm actually
imagining
sarcastically.
some imaginary friend for the Kevin Sorbo series?
No, I don't know what that fucking is either, Mike. Oh my
Xena,
god, I was
Warrior
imagining the
Princess.
goddamn Disney movie.
Oh no.
I was imagining the Disney movie that anybody from my generation, when you say Hercules, thinks of, and they go, oh yeah, man, Hades was the coolest, and Meg was way too hot for that cartoon. Oh my god, that's the first thing that happened. Anyway, holy shit. Oh god.
All right.
So anyway,
Mike, you stressed
So
me
this
Mike,
out.
were
movie
saying-
ended with Ripley doing a swan dive into a smelting pot, basically, or a smelting vat.
The movie ended like
Yeah,
that?
she realized that she was impregnated with a chest burster thing, so she grabs the queen. Like, what does she do? Like, grab the queen and like throw her in because or the queen won't attack her or something because she's pregnant. Like, you saw this. Which one of you guys saw this?
I saw
Okay,
it.
so tell us how it ended.
They kill the final alien, except for the chest burster that was in Ripley. They kill it by dumping molten lead onto it, and then they turn on the sprinkler system, so when the water hit it, it was really hot and it shattered.
Oh, I thought she did a swan dive into a
No,
melting
she
thing.
does, but that's when she realized that that her chest burster was about to burst out, so she jumps in just as the chest burster was coming out.
And it she does die like
So she dies.
right.
Oh yeah.
And thank you again for joining us on the Graveyard.
Okay, so not with the movie being like, how was it as a movie?
When there was just 3 alien movies, that was the worst one.
And now there's a bunch more that are way worse.
Yeah.
Okay, so how does the game stack up to it?
I mean,
When there was 3 alien games, this was the worst one. Now there's a bunch more, so...
no, well, I mean, I think a common theme with these games that we played this time was that it shows that it's really hard to make a video game based on a movie, because in Alien 3 there's one alien. That's it. There's a face hugger that does the thing, it dies, and there's one alien going through the prison, killing prisoners. Within 3 minutes of playing this game, I've already killed maybe 20 aliens.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
They just keep coming.
yeah. It's like, I mean, I'd say of the 4 games that we played, this was probably the better one.
It was in the top 2
Yeah,
at the least.
honestly.
Change the
It
look
was-
of things,
yeah.
like the look of the aliens, and call it something else. It would have been, I don't want to say an okay game, but it would have been
Wait, what the fuck's our
playable.
last
Yeah,
game?
it would have been passable.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is definitely in the top 2 games. Beetlejuice and this, I think, were the 2 better games. And I honestly played Aliens
Swing and a miss.
longer than I played any of the other games. Like, I played Aliens for a while and, like, didn't bother looking it
Yeah.
up. I just figured it out myself. That was fine. That's the thing
Yeah, it
about a
was a
game. Like, if
decent
I have to
play.
look something up, I get frustrated.
Yeah, this was the most playable game of all the ones. But
I guess that's the best way to describe it.
yeah,
Right. It was a decent platform.
and
Even though it didn't look very good for 93 graphics. But
yeah,
Yeah.
that you basically have to like run while firing diagonally down to hit one of those tiny aliens, like those
What?
those face huggers.
No, you fool. You lie down on the ground and shoot directly straight in front of you. You just lie down and then shoot, and it hit fires and hits
The
them in
biggest
face.
problem I had was that
You're a
apparently
fool.
like every level is a time limit, and you
Yeah.
have to like
That was
rescue these
difficult.
guys. Like, And then it turns out, no, they all got chest bursters in them, so what was the point of rescuing them? They're already dead men.
Now that was cool. That was cool. If you don't finish it in the time limit, if you don't rescue all the prisoners in whatever time limit, whatever difficulty you're on, they will scroll to each part of the level where you missed a guy, and you get to watch the alien burst out of his chest.
Yeah.
I think it's cool because A, you get to see the consequences of your fuck ups, and B, when you hit your quick save tab, you can go back to the beginning of that level, and because it's scrolled over there, you know where that motherfucker is.
That's right. It was informative.
There's a lot of things in the game that honestly, if I had looked up, it would have made the game a lot easier. But the game was fine to pick up and play by itself. Like, as soon as you start picking up guns, you're like, okay, that's how I replenish my guns. And then you start grabbing other shit, and you're like, oh, my radar just turned on. Okay, what's that bleeping? Oh god, it's an alien. You know what I mean? It doesn't take long to figure shit out with this game. And also, I kind of want to, like, I'm not trying to, pick a bone with Ivan or whatever, but I feel like making a movie or making a game out of a movie isn't hard if you stick to the movie adherently and you tell the gamers that that's what you're doing.
Or
You know
if
what I
you
mean?
can
Like,
just
if they
remember
seriously.
what is the coolest essences of that movie, and then put that in game form.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
they
talking
took some
like the only way
liberties,
to
but-
do it thoroughly would be literally to remake the movie and just tell the game people, like, look, this isn't a game for you. This is a game for the people who love the movie so much that they couldn't get enough of it, and now they want to be Sherlock Holmes or whoever the fuck. And they know that when they make this next decision, the bad guy is going to reveal himself because they've seen the movie, but they are also the same people who went to the theater 30 fucking times to pay to see the movie, and they're also the people who are putting out $80 on release day to pay to buy the game. This isn't a game for you guys. It's an industry. We're making money here, but like, and also like if you wanted to, you could just call any game like Lion King 1.5 and make it the in-between story so that you're not fucking with the canon. You know what I mean? If they'd have called this Alien 3.5, then it would make way more sense that there's 20 aliens every 2 minutes. You know what I mean? But instead they called it Alien 3.
Let Ivan talk.
Yeah, they call it Alien 3. Oh, sorry. I mean, can't.
I can't.
Go for it.
No, I'm agreeing with
I
you.
want to respect you, Ivan, but you're really making it hard for me.
I just can't. No, shut up. Yeah. No. You make a good point though, Brandon. It doesn't have to be a literal direct translation for it to be an enjoyable experience. As long as you're in that world, you're seeing the aliens, you're fighting them, you're going around these tunnels, the platforms. It
honestly,
roughly replicates it.
I'm kind of saying it the other way. Like, if they're gonna do it, just tell them on the box, this is the movie. Don't expect anything else. There's no secrets. You're not gonna find extra lore in this. It is the movie, page per page.
Nobody knew what
just
lore
buy it
was.
because you're already.
Not in that time anyway.
Well, that's it. Like back then. I'm talking nowadays. Like, I guess also when Ivan said, it's not easy to make a video game movie, he might have been thinking then, but I was thinking now. Nowadays, like when they take Lord of the Rings and they make Shadow of Mordor, that does tailor to what Ivan was just saying, where it's more of just being in that realm that people want. But also, like, I'm not a big Lord of the Rings guy, so I don't give a fuck about the movies. I do kind of enjoy Shadow of Mordor because I do kind of like the idea of being in that realm and being my own guy and having nothing at all to do with the big landscape-changing decisions that happen in the movie.
Yeah, leave that
I wanna
to
just
the
exist
midgets.
in a little podunk village. Exactly,
Leave
right?
that- leave
but
that
also,
to the midgets and the gay
then
wizard.
you get the yeah, but then you get the fan people who would get upset about Mike calling him a gay wizard, and those same people would be like, it's not like the movie because I want it to be Frodo, and instead I have to be some nameless hobbit and go talk to Frodo. I don't want to talk to Frodo. I want to be Frodo, and I want to go on Frodo's mission. And it's like one way or the other, the game developers are gonna have to like basically lose half of their sandwich to the lunchtime bully. Either the fans are gonna be like, we're upset because it's not the way it should be, the way the movie is, or the fans are gonna be like, we're upset because it's too like the movie and it's boring and we're not getting as many choices as we want.
Like there's a whole world of people.
So they kinda
why
have
we
to,
only
like-
these assholes.
You can't please
Exactly.
everybody, is what you're saying.
They have to decide exactly. They have to decide like how they're going to cut their sandwich so that they get the most pickle and
Well,
peanut
that's why
butter
Friday-
before that prick
That's
comes
why those
along
Friday
and
the
fucking.
13th guys nailed it, because you can do both. You can be Jason, or you can run away from Jason.
Yeah. I was going to
Really?
say that it's only like recently now that they're starting to like this is. I think this would be the only way to do like a video game horror movie right is the way that they've done the recent Friday the 13th game.
Or like Command and Conquer
Oh.
did with the
I haven't played that.
like they did with the real time strategy games. Like, oh, you get to be you're always the heroes fighting in this terrorist organization, and they just like, how would you like to be the terrorist organization too? And you're like, what? And then you're like, and then you're taking orders directly from this guy, who it turns out probably is the original Cain from the Bible, and you're just like, I'm taking orders from this guy. Oh man, that is awesome! And then as a reward for a loyal service to him, if you play the bad guy, you get to choose one of 4 cities to vaporize with a nuke, and that's pretty darn bitchin'.
So in that game, for the people who haven't played the game, like myself, so is the idea that you're playing the good guys in the other iterations of the game, and in the iteration that you're talking about specifically, you get to play both the good guys and the bad guys at the same
No,
time?
there's 2
Or are you
campaigns.
forced to play one?
You play one campaign
or
at
the
a
other?
time.
Yeah, so you're... Okay, so you're forced to play one or
Depending
the
on
other.
the disc you want to play, there's one disc for the good guys, one disc for the bad guys. Like you can't alternate
So
in
you're
the story.
literally forced... Yeah, you're literally forced to play one or the other. Just agree with
Well,
me.
it's not so much force. You
Like-
can choose how you do it, because you can choose which countries to attack or liberate.
Mike, you have to put a fucking different disc in to change your mind. You're
Oh
forced
fuck, Brandon!
into
I
it.
just
Don't-
destroyed all your hopes
like,
and dreams.
come on. Yeah, that's
I'm
like-
sorry I
you
pulled the
can't-
rug out from under
Anyway,
you
my
and
point is-
shattered your illusions, Brandon.
I don't know what you
So,
think it is,
Aliens
but it's
3.
not what you're saying.
It's a great game.
Well, no, I was just gonna say before we move on, I was just gonna say that to Mike's end, that doesn't really solve the problem of making a good horror movie or any movie into a game by letting you play the other guy's side. And also, to be honest, you started with the point of, you know, this game does it better because it does real-time strategy approach, and then you went off on that whole thing. So I was really confused. That's why I wanted to like reel that
Let's get
back
back
and try to
to
figure out what
the,
you're talking about the decisions.
Let's get back to Aliens. So, did anybody beat this game?
I want to.
Oh hell
I
no.
want to know what
No.
XCOM. Damn it.
No.
No, I didn't. That game.
Although
No.
I will say, if I had known earlier in the week that you could set it on easy mode and have more time on the clock, I might have been able to get farther. My biggest difficulty was getting through the maze to rescue all the prisoners in the time allotted.
Yeah, that was.
But it was a fun game, I have to say.
It was like the one that was worth tolerating.
Yeah, I mean, judging on a curve. I
not
mean,
an
we're coming
excellent-
from Beetlejuice and
It's not an
Ghostbusters
excellent
here,
game, but
but
it's like
yeah.
the least worst.
And especially when you're considering 1993, you know, looked like it came out like 87, 88 at best, but
So, what?
Yeah, I was gonna also
it was
ask.
a playable
did-
game.
For you guys, knowing like, because you guys got a chance to actually play these games when they came out. What like? How did these graphics stack? Are they not great? Are they all right?
No.
Because to me, it looked
No,
nicer
God,
than
no.
the other games, but the other games were not super great either. So I didn't know how to really compare it. Is
Well-
it just that they're all the bottom of the barrel, or
Yeah, these were bad. Like this was a drop down from
Yeah.
like most like the big Nintendo games that were out for like the past 2 or 3 years at that point.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Sure.
hell, even Mega Man 2, 1988, was well above
Oh
this.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like these games had no excuse looking as bad as they did when you got games like Mega Man 2, Mega Man 3, 4, 5, 6. These games looked fantastic. And like even Super Mario Brothers 3, that was great. Metroid, decent. Kid Icarus, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Metroid was an early game, though. It was justifiably mediocre on graphics. This was almost a decade later.
Yeah.
yeah, this was 10 years into the race.
So
Yeah.
But how old was LJN at that point? Also,
Oh, I
were
have
they
no
still
idea.
young?
Yeah, old enough. They did Beetlejuice in 91.
yeah, they
must-
had
Nightmare on Elm Street they did in '90.
Yeah, they had darn good. They had time to learn. They just didn't care. So, final game, and hopefully the final offering by LJN, Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street. So,
Easy for you to say.
Not Nightmare Before
not
Elm
so
Street.
easy. Yeah, this game, I tried playing it. I could only go into one room, collect a bunch of bones for some reason, which wasn't really clear. I beat a boss that looked like a glove on a set of anal beads. And then
Yep.
it kept flickering between daytime and nighttime where enemies got tougher and had a Freddy's face on them. And then when I tried cruising down the street to go inside other buildings, pressing the up button did not let me in any of them. There was only one place I could go in, I cleaned it
yeah.
out, and then I just had to fucking exist in this world until I died and gave up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
that's
they
like the
didn't do
Freddy
a good-
curse. That is literally what Freddy uses to kill people. Like, everybody thinks Freddy's most dangerous thing is his claws, but really it's the fact that he just traps you in this weird purgatory where none of the doors open. And you're just like, well, I guess I'll just live on the street until I die.
Yeah, they did
Go
not
ahead.
do a good job of letting you know where you had to go next once you got
Yeah.
a key. And there was one specific door that key led to, but you had no idea where it was. You had to explore around to find it. And then
I can imagine
you
in
would press up and go in, but just trial by error.
yeah, I can imagine in like the board head of board meeting or whatever before they like released the game. They were like, okay, so we got the play tester back. 5 people played it. 4 of them said it was all right. 1 guy got fired. And so here's the feedback. See, they said that there's that they would like to see more arrows, like blinking arrows that maybe give you a direction of where to go. That's their comment. What do you think we should do with that, guys? Well, the game's supposed to be out tomorrow. Let's just say it's a fun adventure and plenty of room to explore. You know what I mean? They're like, we'll sell it on the angle that like there's so much unknown mystery. And you're like, that's not actual mystery.
You will feel like a genius when you figure it out,
Yeah.
because we're giving you nothing.
You're either an idiot savant or a genius. Yeah, because we're going to give you no puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I played the game, I started it, and then I neglected it for some time. Probably went and smoked a bowl, I assume. And then when I got back to it, I didn't realize that when you start it, you're already on daytime. So when I got back to it, it was nighttime. And I was like, okay, nothing
Right.
weird about that. And I started fighting these bats and shit that are flying at me.
Well,
And that was fine. And then I went into the first house, and I collected up all the bones, and that was fine. And then I left, and then it was daytime, and I'm like, oh, sweet, it's daytime, and there's people on the streets. These people are probably kind people who will help me figure out what the fuck's going
Castlevania.
on. And I walked up to go talk to a guy, and he just walked into me and murdered me. And I was like, what are you doing, mister? Stop. I'm in trouble. What is this?
Didn't clue you in that he was dressed like a 1930s gangster?
Yeah. And then I was very confused, and I realized that daytime or nighttime, there's just always enemies. There's no reason for the daytime nighttime thing other than to make the enemies tougher. And I was like, that's really
Well, that was
aggravating.
actually-
I don't know.
That was a mechanic that was actually praised at the time, well, semi-praised. So it
Yeah.
was the sleeping. The sleep meter was what you had. So it would continuously count down, but it would do it slower if you were active. And once it finally got to the end, you would go into dream mode, where the enemies were tougher. You know, they changed, as you were talking about. And you had to find your way, I think it was usually to a boombox.
yeah.
You hit the boombox,
Yeah.
and it would wake you up. It would play a little
Exactly.
music hit,
In
and it would
your
wake you up.
eyes, the light, the sea, your eyes. Oh, was I the only one that
Well,
heard of say
What
anything?
the fuck?
What I
Yeah.
thought was weird about this
Nobody
game, I
knows
mean,
what
I
you're
John
doing.
understand
Cusack,
like when you fall
the movie where he holds the boombox over his head. It gets referenced in all those shitty movies that try to reference a better movie.
I'm not going to lie. I know what you're talking about, but I'm going to keep saying no.
You cunt.
Anyway, Sheldon, you were saying?
Well, I just thought it was weird. Like, I understand, like, the whole nightmare thing. You fall asleep, you're in a nightmare, everything has Freddy's face on it, and, like, there's all kinds of weird shit. But when you're awake, it's like, okay, I'm awake, but yet, so you're in the real world. You're being attacked by giant snakes and spiders and shit, and it's like,
Right.
like that's supposed to be
Give
reality.
me a break, right?
And I'm gonna.
It was Inception. It was a dream within a dream.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up
Holy
magazine.
Yeah, you're right. That didn't entirely make sense. Nor did it make sense that you were going into each building just to collect bones. Endless bones. I mean, how many bones did that motherfucker have?
Yeah, I mean, I know.
And
Well, I mean, according to the original movie, he was a pedophile that was convicted, and he did murder his victims. Now, the newer movies have changed it, so he was a suspected pedophile, so it's all PG and on board, and now the parents of the block are actually the villains of the movie, but in reality, the first iteration of any of the Friday the 13th, whatever bullshit, he was a convicted pedophile who had hid the bodies and nobody had found them yet. He died in jail.
No, they burned him at his home because he got off on a technicality.
Yeah, he got off on a technicality.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna pull up my horror movie expertise here. He got off on a technicality,
Do it.
and the parents on the street went vigilante justice on him and burned him to death.
Yeah.
That's why he looks.
Yeah, that's
that's
why
why
I had
he
a
looks the way he
flash of-
does.
And
Of witnessing
the
him in
collecting of the
jail.
bones in the game is in reference to, I believe, part 4 of Nightmare on Elm
The
Street,
Dream
where they
Warriors.
actually had to. Yeah, nope, not Dream Warriors. Dream Warriors is part 3. Part 4 was the Dream Child, I believe.
Wait, the Dream Warriors. That's the one with where Heather Langenkamp returns, and the Dream
Yep, that's
Warriors
part
are
3.
are the kids in the insane asylum, and like one of them gets pulled into the TV, and the ones that survive do it by gathering and fighting Freddy. And this is a direct reference to the Dream Warriors because that movie ended, or it kind of ended, when Heather found Freddy's
They fought him in the
bones.
furnace.
No, she found Freddy's bones, burned them, and then she saw like her dad's ghost saying like, "Oh, you like Freddy had killed me, but you killed him. That's all great." And she goes to give him a hug goodbye, and then it turns out, just kidding, it's Freddy. My bones didn't do shit.
Yeah, you just spliced together like 4 different movies then.
No, but
okay.
then like the bones come to life and kill the
I was
dad.
gonna say, Sheldon, you really crushed that explanation there, man. Good job.
No,
Yeah.
the dad goes to burn the bones, and the bones come to life, don't they? And they burn him because they're like claymation style.
Yeah, but you're like I said that you are saying something that happened in one of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, but the other parts you like spliced together like 4 different movies.
Well, wasn't the Dream Child the sequel
But
to that
the
movie?
point was what I was getting to was that the collecting of the bones was in reference to one of the movies where they had to find Freddy's bones and burn them.
Right.
Could have just left it at that.
Yeah, well. We just want to reference how great these.
That made me so happy for some reason.
We just want to reference how great these
This is Mike
movies
we're
are,
talking about, right?
and just how these games fall so
Mike,
short.
Mike's idea of in summary is to give an explanation that's like 4 times longer than the actual movie.
In summary, when I was
Yeah.
at the Asian restaurant, I opened the fortune cookie, and it told me I would have good luck and that my special numbers were 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I took those numbers.
And then the fortune.
Grandpa
There
Simpson
you go.
over
And
there.
then the fortune cookie
Anyway.
turned into an
Yeah.
eye and skirted across the table and reminded me that the clown still lives in the sewers and I gotta go deal with that shit in the morning.
And I have a podcast to record.
Anyway, long story short, is a phrase whose origins are complex.
Famous words. Famous words. All often said.
But so
yeah.
anyway, my experience with this one is similar to Ghostbusters. I actually finished this game when it was fairly new.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So you did it when you had the cheating. You had the cheating advantage of everybody around you giving a fuck at the time.
So how do you get into the other buildings? Because
Yeah.
I pressed the up button
Sorry, go ahead.
and I only got into one.
You got to find the right building.
Yep. You can't just go into either one. You just. I think I just went around and just tried every one until I found like one that would let me in.
I did that after the first building
Right.
that let me in, then every other one didn't, despite the fact that they had open fucking doors.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had
you missed
an
one.
experience similar to Mike's. I managed to clear out the first area, and then there's like a downstairs after you finish that or something, and I didn't get to it the first time, and it let me back out, and I died. So I quickly hit my resave thing, and I was pissed because I had to redo the house again, and I was like, fuck. But then the second time when I did the house, I did it before it like changed to dark, like before nighttime kicked in or whatever, and then there was a basement, and I was like, oh fuck, that wasn't here a second ago. So that was the only reason that I found out that there was more than just the first floor to that house. And then once I got back outside, it was nighttime again. So I was trying to get into doors and shit, and it wouldn't let me. And I assumed that it had something to do with the day-nighttime thing. But again, I was also still thrown off from the initial start because I like turned it on and then neglected it and then started playing. So I was like, oh, nighttime, that makes sense. And didn't quite understand that there was a whole thing going on behind the scenes. So I was just like, obviously, I was missing puzzle pieces too. Like I didn't get what was going on.
So, Sheldon, did you beat it this time?
Not this time, no. I could not.
far did
Apparently,
you
I've
get this
lost
time?
my NES prowess.
So, how did this game...
How far did you actually get?
In this one, I fought Freddy the hand again, but like the glove, but not on the anal beads, like Mike said, like the first boss. It was the anal beads were gone, and it's just flying around the room.
Oh, that one.
That's as far as I got this time.
Right.
Yeah.
When you have to turn
Yeah.
into the ninja and do those double dragon.
Oh yeah.
Kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one other thing that I figured out, and I don't know if Mike actually got a handle on this, but
Nope,
there's
I
this power
was
up that
just
you
kung,
can
I
get,
was just kung
and
fu.
yeah, there's a power up that you can get, and it doesn't tell you anywhere. There's no like, as far as I know, there's no icon or anything that tells you now you have this. But after you pick it up, if you push select, you change into a little like jungle boy wearing shorts. I really don't know how to explain it, but when he jumps, he does a somersault, and when you push the punch button, he throws a spear, but he actually jumps a little bit lower than the other dude. So there's times where you need the other dude to do gaps
Wait, so you turn into
when you're
Mowgli?
doing like the platforming. But as
Right.
soon as I figured out, yeah, basically, honestly, like straight up, that's what it looks like. Like he's got a shirt too, so it's not like he's topless, but like he's got these shorts on, and you're like, what the fuck? And honestly, as soon as I figured out that I could turn into a ninja man, I only stayed a ninja man, like
Yeah.
all
Well,
the
the
time.
ninja has an where when you jump with the ninja, he does a drop kick, so you're automatically like you're jumping and attacking at the same time.
I didn't even notice that. I had no idea that that was a thing, but yeah.
It's the only way to get through some of those bosses, like the flying hand.
Yeah.
It was the
Yeah, I
drop
didn't get
kick,
to
yeah.
the end of this. I didn't even get close, but
Yeah.
this was one of the two that I had fun with.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it as much as I did like the first time I played it when I was like 10 years old, because I think my taste in games,
Yeah.
I've gotten a little more refined taste in games since then. But no, I was just and I was a big fan of Nightmare on Elm Street series at that time. So I mean, to have a game to go along with it was pretty cool. But you didn't miss
Yeah.
much. The ending is very anticlimactic.
So,
Not as
Yeah.
anticlimactic as
Isn't
Ghostbusters,
it?
but
or Beetlejuice. There's
Or
an actual
Beetlejuice.
boss.
Yeah.
there's a boss.
Yes,
Yeah, you
there-
have
yeah.
to
Yeah,
You actually
isn't,
fight
Freddy.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, you kill Freddy, and then it gives you like a, you're safe now, but maybe not forever, or something like that.
Well,
be
you kill
continued?
Freddy, and when I
Basically.
say kill, you attack him until he decides to walk off the screen. And then all those bones you collected throughout the whole game, you get to watch the screen
Burn.
just pause there while each bone individually goes flying into the furnace.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
all
it's
two
not like
of
they
them.
made yeah, it's not like they made them worth 5 bones each or something. It's like literally every single bone has to go in.
There are 206 bones in the human
like the
body,
sprites are counted.
and they're all
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
all femurs.
Yeah. And then you just go to I had to look it up because I couldn't remember exactly what it said on there, but the end screen is just a headstone, rest in peace on it, and it says, "So the evil is purged. Fire purifies all. The bones are ashes, soon to be dust. Freddy, trademark." They actually got the trademark. logo
Yeah,
on
I remember
Freddy.
reading that. Trademark.
Freddy, trademark, is dead, and the nightmare is ended. And then, or is it?
Yeah, it's like a whole pause, too, because you're like watching the screen, and all of that stuff kind of just comes up. It doesn't like scroll in, and it just all sort of comes up, and you're reading it all, and then like a whole 15 seconds later, the "or does it" comes up, or whatever the fuck the last little tag is, and you're just like, oh, is the game still doing stuff? I thought I was done. Like, and I guess that's kind of the idea. They really did catch me off guard. I was like, oh, I thought I successfully vanquished the evil that was Freddy. I've been fooled.
I worked
Fuck.
hard enough.
You got me. I guess I'll have to buy Friday the 13th Part 2, I guess.
Yeah. So it is a game I enjoyed most, and if you're going to be playing a Halloween game, of the four, at least that's the one I would recommend, because at least it does have a feeling like a bit of a horror element to it.
It doesn't have a
Right.
have a time limit, which means you can literally wander around for as long as you want until you,
You
realize
can walk
there's
around
other
and punch
games.
snakes. You can walk around and punch snakes and,
Maybe I'm
and
just,
bats
like-
in the face as much as you want.
That's
Maybe
right.
I'm just a pussy, but I feel like they all kind of have like that Halloween kind of level to them. Like Beetlejuice was something I always watched around Halloween, and maybe that's just me, but like that's a great time to watch that. And
Oh, yeah.
Aliens has got the whole
It's-
space horror sci-fi shit going on there. And
It's quite a coincidence. It's almost like we planned it for Halloween this episode. Huh.
well, I mean, like, yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. But I mean, the way that
Wait,
he
is
spun it, it
Halloween
seemed
soon?
Like, relatively. Depends on how quick Mike can edit this shit, I guess. We might have already missed Halloween, technically. We were supposed to record this a week ago, weren't we?
Oh yeah, and you only
Yeah,
made
we
sure
got
to
you.
mess it up enough to give me a week of editing to do. So
Oh, buddy, if our stuff isn't like done to the like last absolute timeline, then it's not fresh as possible. Gotta have that
So
fresh
anyway.
seal.
Do we want to talk about substitutions?
what would I do to substitute?
Oh, I mean, I gave my substitutions for Beetlejuice already.
Yeah, for Beetlejuice, very loose substitution, but the platforming levels reminded me of Mario Brothers 2, so I'd much rather play that.
Yeah. Beetlejuice was Mario Brothers 2 if they just slapped a really ugly coat of pastel paint on it and fucked up the gravities.
Just fucked with the physics. Yeah, right.
You know what?
I mean, except for the physics part, that's basically what Mario 2 is, right? Just a different game with a Mario skin, right?
Well, it literally is this Doki Doki Panic.
Yeah. How about
That's
Aliens
what I'm
3?
referencing.
Contra.
My substitution for that.
Aliens.
Yeah, I was. You
Yeah,
stole
you're gonna be
mine.
fighting aliens.
Absolutely. It reminded me a lot of that.
In a
I didn't play Contra, so I'm out on that one.
Oh, Jesus Christ, really?
Yep.
All right, we got
Never,
our
never.
next
Yeah, me
taste
neither.
test.
I never got to play Contra either because the only time I experienced it was in arcades, and I had very very limited funds. Like I could only have like put in like 1 quarter, and then the rest would be like, well, I can either fail at this video game for about 2 minutes, or I can actually spend my money on some candy and an Archie book. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Archie book and shit. At least that's a guaranteed good time, rather than humiliating me with my shitty hand-eye coordination, lack of comprehension, and no forward knowledge of this game.
No,
We'll
see,
have to
Mike,
do Contra
you
at some
fucked up
point.
there. What? Sorry.
We'll have to do Contra at some point. It was a
Oh,
good shoot 'em
yeah.
up.
I don't know. I mean, like, I don't hate
about-
the idea, but like,
No,
I'm
no,
not
no, you-
super for it. I never got drawn to Contra.
I'll try it.
Give it a try. It is one of the, for me, it's one of the quintessential NES titles. One of the must-plays.
So
Okay,
for
wow.
Ghostbusters, I'd say
Maybe
my
we'll
give it a
substitution is go play Ghostbusters for the 360 or the PS3, whatever it was, because that one was
Or
the
the
video
Wii.
game that came out a couple of years ago. Because that one had excellent
That was
ghost
good.
zapping skills. You could change the proton pack depending on the ghost you're fighting. Like some you would need the phaser, some you would need the slime. You would have different traps. You could actually fight the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in the first level, and it was made with the. It was written by the guys who wrote Ghostbusters, right? Sam Raimi.
It's Ghostbusters
Same-
3.
yeah,
yeah.
it's the Ghostbusters 3 we all wanted and
It was
needed. It was fantastic.
Yeah. Somebody, you
Right.
can go on YouTube, and somebody has all the all the cutscenes edited
Cutscenes?
together.
Huh.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
Worth
and you
watching them.
it's Ghostbusters 3T.
it's literally labeled Ghostbusters 3. Like you can watch it like an animated movie.
Huh.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah, I
might be
love
worth
that
a
game.
little spin.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I was gonna say for Ghostbusters, my substitution is if you've got like sidewalk chalk or like a pen and paper, and you know how to make a tic-tac-toe board, you're probably fine. You can handle yourself. You're good. If you got a stick and like some
Yeah.
dirt, and you can make a tic-tac-toe board, you're good. You're set. Don't even bother turning it on. You're fine. Maybe turn it on in the background so you can listen to the really shitty Ghostbusters every 15 seconds. Ghostbusters! And then
I
that'll be
recommend
fun.
getting instead of Ghostbusters 2, getting a pen and a piece of paper, but instead of making tic-tac-toe, jam the paper in your mouth and then jam the pen in your dick hole, and you'll have a better time.
No, you take the paper, right, and you tear off 2 corners of it, and you jam those 2 corners up your nose. And you take the rest of the paper and you wad it, but not tight, just wad it loose, and you jam that in your mouth. And then you take the pen and you jam that into your eye or ear hole, and then that way you're experiencing more than you would by playing Ghostbusters. Your brain is now lit up in so many different areas compared to the Ghostbusters. If you did an MRI on both those people,
So-
one of them would surely be more lit up.
So how about Nightmare on Elm Street? We got any good substitutions for that one?
Any of the Castlevania games.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
I
in
genuinely
spirit,
liked
anyway.
that version of this game. I did. I liked it. I don't care what I said in that episode last year. I probably said I hated it then, but now I'm looking back and I'm like, nah, I like this better. You're right.
So
Or
did
maybe I
anybody
said I
play
loved
the
it.
new-
Who knows?
Anyone played a new Friday the 13th game?
I can't say I have.
Oh,
Looks so
you
good.
should check it out.
No.
But it's good because it's like an 8-player game, online game. Like the rounds last a maximum of 20 minutes, and you don't know who you're going to be when you go into the game. The game starts. You could be one of 7 camp counselors, or you could be Jason.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
If you're a counselor, of course, you either got to try to survive till the time is up, or escape. You can escape by car or by boat. And Jason's goal is to, just make sure everyone's dead before the time's up.
So can Jason attack
That was
items to destroy them, or just the counselors?
Oh, as Jason, you can set traps. Like you can find
I
a
was
bear
gonna say, I think
trap
you
and
can set
set it, and then
traps, right?
cover it.
So
Did you guys know that was actually the original idea for this game, for Nightmare on Elm Street? You were originally going to play as Freddy, just like you're
That
talking
would have been
about,
amazing.
and going around killing the kids.
that would be great. You could jump through this overhead map, like warping through the dream world to enter different people's dreams.
That's something from the
Yeah,
big
sounds-
one
that
now.
was-
Like
That would have been a
It
better
sounds
game.
real good on paper, but I can imagine why it got shot down in the boardroom. Because they were like, hey, let's have an idea
Yeah,
where you're a child molester murdering kids. And then they're like, ooh,
That's
can you
right.
say that any other way? That's a
Yeah,
real
doesn't
interesting
pass the
idea. I
NES.
like where you're thinking, Craig, but is there a better way to say that we can put it on a box and you don't immediately get sued?
Okay,
Maybe
yeah,
you're the
sell it
kids
to
and you're trying to
8-year-old
kill
kids.
the rapist? Maybe that'll work?
well, they could probably do it now though, especially with the success of Friday the 13th game now. Now maybe it's a time to start thinking
Oh,
about
yeah.
a new Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nowadays.
Oh,
You're,
absolutely.
But,
you're a
uh,
legally exonerated man trying to put his life back together when you're cruelly cut down in your prime. So your goal is to avenge your own murder by slaughtering the children of those who took justice into their own hands.
Explain a horror movie badly.
no,
A janitor helps some high school kids make their dreams come true.
it's more like explain a horror movie with a cheery summary or whatever. But also, have you guys seen? Fuck, there's a thing online where it's like true renditions or something like that. What were we talking about like a whole second ago?
Hockey fan makes friends at camp.
Yeah, lonely hockey fan makes friends at camp. Oh yeah, spinning it and doing it the other way. I was gonna say, yeah, like we've got games out nowadays, like Grand Theft Auto, for instance, where you're just a nameless Joe. You're actually inspired to create your own self, and like a lot of the goal of that game is to senselessly murder other innocent civilians. You know what I mean? So to spin the Freddy game nowadays or the Jason game nowadays would not be difficult. And honestly, oh, that's what I was gonna say. I'm sure you guys are all well aware of the lore behind Mortal Kombat, and like specifically Scorpion's lore. Because if you take Scorpion's story and you compare it to Freddy's story, they're pretty fucking similar. And that's where the true facts thing comes in. There's
Scorpion was a pedophile?
Fuck, I can't remember.
Get over here!
Hey kid, get over here!
Listen.
Oh, jeez.
I got candy!
I'm gonna penetrate you with my projectile. Get over here.
I got candy!
I got real off track with my remembering stuff, but like, so there's this YouTube channel which I can't remember. I was gonna look it up. That's what distracted me because I was looking at my phone when all of a sudden I had the floor. But there's a YouTube channel where they tell you the lore of a game, but then they point out shit that like the developers didn't think about. So there's a whole like playlist of Mortal Kombat lore, and one of the things that they point out is the whole story between Sub-Zero and Scorpion is like both these tribes basically keep getting tricked into killing the other tribe by falling for some like Shinwu trick or whatever. And like, so if any of them stopped for a second to think about like their history, they'd be like, ah, man, I'm part of the 5th generation of people who keep getting fucked over by this other tribe. And every time they fuck us over, later they're like, oh man, we got tricked. And then we fuck them over back. And then later we're like, oh man, we got tricked. So like if they just thought about it, then it would be fine. But also in those days, like if you fucked over a clan, it wasn't just like a good old murder, like a slaughter. It was like a rape, like a Genghis Khan style, like ruin your seeds. If you've got women who are alive, they're either gonna have my children or no children. You know what I mean? So every time one of those clans kind of like change power, they're really just like inbreeding with themselves. You know what I mean? So that kind of just does draw that extra parallel for Scorpion and Freddy with the whole like gets burnt alive, gets sent to hell, then his like spiritual form comes back to get vengeance, and every time that he or one of his clan members has done what they think is the right thing, they're actually being misled by like some slightly more powerful force into doing like the really wrong thing, and that wrong thing is probably going to involve some child rape.
So Freddy has a pedophile ring, aka his clan, and they're avenging his death by resurrecting him through witchcraft.
Yeah, basically.
And they all just happen to have snarky senses of humor.
Yeah. Also, yeah. If you put it all out like that, yeah. I'm just saying, like, when you look at the two, they're way too similar. And I'm just saying, like, Mortal Kombat is a game that exists, so I'm just adding more fuel to the fire.
They should have waited for that.
Game. It wouldn't be that hard
They
to
should have
stretch the
waited for
story.
that Freddy game so that you could fight Freddy with the power glove.
So anyway, would you guys come back to any of these
Yeah, that
games
would've
for
been cool.
seconds?
Fuck no. Done with these games. Watched them, played them. I'm ready to forget they ever existed.
Maybe Aliens 3. And I know I said I really like Beetlejuice, but I'm done with what I got from that. I liked it and it was fine.
Yeah. I would do
I'll watch
Aliens.
the movie when I want to remember the game.
Aliens 3 and Nightmare on Elm Street I'd play again. How about you, Sheldon?
Maybe I would play Nightmare on Elm Street just because I'd like to be able to finish it again.
Fair enough.
Aliens 3 would be really funny if you had like a bunch of buddies over and you had an emulator that could like, you know, go on a proper TV or whatever, and then you all took turns at Aliens 3 trying to like get the time limit down. That would be kind of fun, but like, I don't know, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I'm probably going to play Aliens 3 either.
So anyway,
I relived the magic in a matter of seconds in my brain. And that was enough.
so this magical
Yeah.
evening of nightmarish games was enough for us, by and large.
Yep, I'm done. So hope you
Fun.
enjoyed listening to this, listeners. We hope you have a happy Halloween.
Oh, wait. Wait, food substitutions. Does anybody have any food they want to just reference? Because technically we're called a taste test, and I think there's some sort of like bylaw that says that we
I'd
have to
say
do
that
that.
this bag was pretty much all candy corn.
Candy corn is great, okay? Get off candy corn's dick. Candy corn's a good time. I invite candy corn over every night.
Yuck.
This game, this bag was more like,
Moldy cheese.
you know what
maybe?
this is? This is like, no. When you're going trick or treating, have you ever seen the? Okay, so there's like regular sized marshmallows, right? And then there's littler marshmallows. And sometimes at Halloween, you get like a little like snack sized bag of little marshmallows. And for me, when I was a kid, I ate like one time my grandparents just bought me like a jumbo sized bag of marshmallows and left me alone, which was a terrible idea. And I ate all of those marshmallows until I puked. And now I just can't look at marshmallows the same. So for me, this whole like grab bag was just like a whole pillow sack full of those like snack sized marshmallow bags. And I'm just like, oh boy, this is something, but I really don't want to participate in this.
Yeah. This,
I don't
well,
really
we're gonna make a
want
trick or
to.
treat reference to this. These games for me was like the time I went trick or treating, and one house gave me a toothbrush, and another one gave me a religious pamphlet, like one of those
That's the
Jehovah's Witness
Ghostbusters.
Watchtower pamphlets or something.
Oh,
That's the toothbrush is
Toothbrush.
the Ghostbusters. The pamphlet is the Beetlejuice because he's always like, and I'm off to my show and I'm the best. Believe in me. I'm the trickster that can do anything except for get past prepubescent teenage girls.
Without promising to marry them. And that doesn't make me sound like
Yeah, I'm
that
the
doesn't make me
trickster.
sound like a southerner at all.
I'd say Skittles.
I'm a trickster
for
that
some
can
of the
do
other
anything.
movies.
Like Ivan, what was it?
Some people would
I'm a
like.
southerner. Oh fuck.
I'd
Sorry,
say
go ahead. I said, oh
I'd say
fuck,
a few
because I
of
fucked
them are
myself up.
A few of them were like Skittles, which are okay. I don't really like them very much, but compared to some other candies,
They were
Yeah,
the
they're good
green
enough.
the apple flavored Skittles.
yeah. Aliens 3 is the apple flavored Skittles, absolutely.
Does that make him good or bad?
It is what it is.
Yeah. Good
Oh,
question.
here's a good Halloween prank. Talk about Skittles. If you guys like
Alright.
anyone like me that works in an office, set out a bowl and say you're just going to put out some Halloween treats for someone, like a communal bowl, but fill it up with Skittles, Smarties, Reese's Pieces, and M&Ms, all in one bowl,
Yeah.
and then sit back and watch the chaos ensue.
And then people got to try to like figure their life.
That's just.
Well, the
That's
thing
pretty
is, I mean,
funny.
separately they're all good,
That's
but
pretty
people are
funny.
just
I
going to
was
reach
kind of
in.
thinking that too.
People are just going to reach in, grab a handful, and pop the whole thing in their mouth,
Yeah.
and then you look at the looks on their faces as they're trying to figure out what the fuck just happened.
That is a conflicting flavor palette.
That's a good time. I kind of like that idea. I'm gonna do that to somebody.
All right. Well, I'm going to head off and go take care of that right now. Some poor sucker's
All
got
right,
a
Mike, you're
miserable
up.
experience in
Time
his
to do
future.
your little doodle.
Okay, well, we hope you enjoyed all this. You can find me and Sheldon talking more scary stuff all the time on the graveyard shift. And we'll be having Ivan on and Brandon on separately as guests because apparently these two can't play together without trampling over each other. So,
As
And
soon
you can find me
I don't
in
know what
St.
you're talking about.
Catharines.
as
No,
soon as the
no.
check clears, we'll confirm that.
Fair enough. All right, make that out to go fuck yourself.
Add all the zeros in front of the number because that means they're worth more. Zeros at the end of something are worthless.
okay,
No, looking forward to it.
so we hope you had fun listening to us, listeners. We hope you have a great Halloween. And we hope to see you next time on the Graveyard
Woo.
Shift and the Playing with Power podcast feed and the Taste
Nope.
Test.
Whichever one of these is.
There you go.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween.
And for now, the kitchen is closed.